Okay, I was thinking that given the chaos of the entire situation, reorienting in the what I will define large avenues with no real decisions or great mistakes is a routine difficult check, but is an art in the modifier table. I will add and an art modifier, so 8 plus 3.
Okay.
So you imagine that it's very chaotic, the burning.
Right. We could get jumped
cars.
anyway. Yeah.
I've got a 14 total.
Oh!
Double
Great.
sixes.
Well, geez.
Whoa, well done.
Yeah.
So you're able to guess that the protesters are effectively moving from the main streets and heading up into some kind of lateral alleys or secondary streets. And the crowd is dispersing and moving with you're kind of able to identify that some of the streets are kind of safe in this situation because the heat is packing on another zone of the city, and you're able to travel south without encountering any kind of violent resistance. So the moment you the other stalkers grab the supplicants, you're able to guide them, and this kind of voyage is something like 20 minutes. You move for 20 minutes, scouting the place, carefully peeking through the corner of the streets, and as you move with this kind of you're kind of like able to identify the correct routes that finally took you to the DS school. And as you can see, there's a bit of chaos. People are pressing on the entrances, and some of the people on the outside the school are preparing some kind of like first recovery tent where you're kind of like brings people that were injured or that were displaced by the charges, and they're kind of treating like them. So you know that you can leave her there, and she will be treated somehow.
No, that's kind of nice. Although I don't think we should leave her. She is very important to us.
Yeah, that's okay.
So I would like. Okay. So to the Grey Witch. Hazard is saying, I still don't understand. There is this is just an ordinary police action. This is just this has happened 1,000 times. There is no reason here I see no unbidden, I see no essence.
Okay.
You must explain to me what you are seeing here. My goal here, Adriano, is that I would eventually like to make a deduction roll, but since I am disoriented in history, I don't have much to work with.
I think
I failed my delve. I don't have much to work with. I am seeking the help of my stalkers so that I can get some kind of decent roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me help my fellow stalker to understand. Is not they any other? Yes, in other periods of human history, these things happen. But this is extremely horrible because it's considered today one of the greatest violation of human rights in the Western world in the 21st century. People innocent will suffer and will be tortured by no reason by the policeman. Where there is suffering, where there is pain, there could be an unbidden. That's why.
All right. Well, I have a very keen idea. In fact, I will even, since we have a chance to chat in all of this
Yeah.
situation that we are in,
Yeah.
I have a very clear idea that human problems, human attitudes, especially, this is not so far from my own time. This is not so far from my memories. So I can say that I know very well what people do can open the gates to the unbidden's twisted desires.
Yeah.
That the people's activities are vulnerable to the unbidden, right? They can be. I care a great deal about what people do that makes them vulnerable to this, especially for this kind of atrocity. So um, I am going, and I hate it. I hate it a lot. I even hate the people, not just the unbidden. I hate the people whose desire for power and their desire for profit will lead to this. I hate propaganda. I hate them very much. And so I will even, my key, is like, giving off radiation, right, because of this.
Yeah.
So
No.
so this to me is absolutely terrible. The more you tell me, the more I am going to go for a deduction roll. I want to know who are the people who would be responsible for this, even without an unbidden. I want to know who they are, and so that is my goal for a deduction. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, so you want to
it's-
deduct the situation from the Stalker, so from the Grey Witch.
Right, from her knowledge of the
Yeah.
history, and then
Oh,
and
okay.
my understanding of precisely these kinds of human dynamics. I am very familiar with the run up to nuclear war in the 60s. I know all about police cracking down on protests, and I know all about stealth right wingers. Right?
Yeah.
If there's one thing my character knows a lot about, it is things like Operation Gladio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which is the roots, of course, of exactly this event. So,
By the way, Operation Gladio is the one that I'd like to use for my Champions Now gaming.
there you go.
So, yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So fantastic. So in that case, I'd like to make my my deduction roll. Is that allowed?
Yeah, sure. And of course, the difficulty will be for the deduction roll. You should use maybe one of the values of the Grey Witch
Oh,
for the difficulty.
okay. That's whatever you
Okay.
think for the difficulty. Just let me know.
Okay. So.
They had made a 14 on their history roll, I think, or 11, I think. Sorry.
Yeah, on my history, I rolled a 12.
Oh.
I don't know whether,
Yeah.
it could be useful to evaluate the situation, Adriano.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, we'll use that. Yes. I feel that
Okay.
by using your action on someone else's stalker, you should compare the difficulty with the value of the stalker. Like in this case, precedent result that was set by the the stalker.
That's fine. The difficulty is your problem on your side, so I will just let you worry about it. So I know that I am going to do this. Oh my God. I roll an 18 and I have a +6.
That's great.
Finally,
That's
after
great.
all these failures to figure things out, my character is an investigator character with all sorts of awareness and all sorts of all the different information gathering. Finally, I am able to determine the human role in this event and where those are centered right now, right here.
Yeah, you know that it's kind of like some kind of script that keeps repeating over and over and over again. uh, so many peoples assembled in a place that is obviously unfit to like a stage of protests. The idea of this kind of security zones enforced by sheer brutality and the actions of different departments of police that are not able to communicate efficiently with themselves leads to this kind of disasters. And then, in a snowball reaction, any kind of violation of human rights, like violence or threatening to journalists or any kind of illegal activity by this kind of the police forces, is enforced further by the idea of protecting the army, or the idea of the police as a pure court of people devoted to protection. So you know what's kind of happening. Someone lost control, maybe an isolated department, because it really doesn't matter in this case.
Right.
And
right.
now, as the violence is escalating, more violence is being used to cover up the situation. And of course, this is not going well because the evidence are all scattered in this place. But you know that sooner or later, and I would say sooner, the police and the media will concern something like how do you say when you decide to indicate someone that is guilty but is not, something like a false
A scapegoat.
Scapegoat.
a scapegoat.
Scapegoat.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Sooner or later, and I would say sooner, as you deduct with your skill, it's time to find a scapegoat.
Right.
Right now,
Right.
they're kind of they need to use a scapegoat in this case.
I see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, I say this. I will say, all right, this is the situation, and neither of you are from the 20th or 21st century, so I think I can clarify how this could be possible in this kind of situation. And so I say this cannot be stopped socially. We cannot solve this whole thing socially, but we must identify the spot. We must identify where this most vulnerable point is for the unbidden, for the rift, the wait, what is the word I want? The enigma, right? That's what we need. We send, and so I am hoping that I have got the social picture well enough so that we can have some kind of way of saying we need to go to a particular place to examine for an enigma. If I can, if I have enough perspective, I am happy to send out trackers.
Yeah.
Right. But if I had been able to delve for her, I would have sent ferreters to find her friend.
Okay.
But I could not. So I'm sorry about her friend. There's nothing I can do. But
Yeah,
for
that's a good idea.
but this is different now. Now that we have some perspective, I am willing to send out trackers, but I need time, and so and I will say, and don't worry, Lilith. Your claws will have their targets soon. We just need to make sure that we tear into the right people. As much as I would like to go off and just beat up some of these oppressors, they are just they are just some of the millions that have done this throughout history. So,
Ron, I've realized that Lilith is probably a little bit dressed a little bit more stylish than the average, and she's got these yellow leather riding gloves on.
right.
You know, they're flexing when you say this.
Oh, yes, of course. Excellent. So, Alessio, I don't want to step on anything you want to do. What do you?
No,
what
absolutely.
Do you think?
Okay, I'm quite undecided here. I think that's a good idea to send some trackers to see whether they find the traces of essence close to the school.
Yeah,
Okay.
the real problem is that we don't want to just find some stupid little shadow who is sitting under a bench somewhere, right? I mean, we
Yeah,
don't care
but
about that. So that's why I wanted the perspective of the situation,
yeah,
so we can really send trackers for something that really matters.
yeah, but oh please, because my first concern now is bring to safety this woman
Right.
slash girl.
Yeah, right now she's kind of regained herself, and she looks at you, and she kind of notices that something's off. Like she knows that, but she can define this kind of. You kind of see her just looking at you while she thinks that you're not looking at her. So it's kind of like this, and maybe she kind of asks tentatively something like, "Are you from strangers? Are you from Seattle? Where are you from?"
Yeah, we are from France. Yeah. And the first thing she remembers, because when she was mortal, she came from southern France. Yeah, we came here for the demonstration, like
That's-
you.
I love this. So from now on, our speech will have French accents and a couple of French words,
Yeah.
right?
No, I mean,
From this point forward, right? So I don't know if that's like a okay. That sounds kind of masky
yeah,
to me. Do we the skill of mask? Does
yeah,
any
I
of us?
think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, so
I would say that considering how she is confused and the fact that you really not doing something so incredibly
We haven't done anything
strange.
terrible yet. Yeah.
Yeah, yet. So it's a routine test.
is it which test?
A 6.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Masking is
Present.
On
Presence.
presence. Yeah, presence.
okay. Presence.
So, okay, there you go. Hold on. Not well, because basically it's a 4 plus 0.
Okay. So
Oh no.
yeah. So we're not very convincing. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.